All right. Happy Sunday, boys. We're going to be going through the playoffs here, playoff matchups of this week, and see who is going to be playing next week for the championship. So let's just dive right into it and see where we're stacking up for. So we've had now what, four football games happening so far. So we've had a lot of action, so a lot of things to kind of catch up on. So let's actually go to the one that's kind of had the most action so far, which is Alexis versus the Bash Bros. So Bash Bros always has literally every single Bills player ever. And the Bills did not really show up yesterday. So kind of just
Yeah.
looking at the projections here. This is kind of still an even projection, you know. Josh Allen did his thing, 27.98 points. You know, he was a little bit scary. Also, can we talk about this whole Peacock game? Do you have Peacock? Because I wasn't able to watch this game.
Infuriating. It's
It's so
infuriating.
annoying.
We have Peacock, but I was like, this is how many individual platforms are we gonna make people buy? So I
Yeah.
didn't even watch it. I was like, I don't
Uh,
care.
I was box scoring watching. Like I was watching a movie basically. Like it was annoying. Whatever. But Josh Allen, you know, did his
That's
thing.
commitment. That is commitment.
What?
You watch the whole game as via box score?
No, I was box score watching, and then I was watching a movie.
Oh, all right.
So
I
I
was
was
like,
kind of hooked on. But no, 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 no,
that
no,
is some commitment, dude.
no way. I cannot do that. But I almost saw the Bills lose it. I almost saw them blow it. So 24-22, kind of shocking. But hey, that's life for you.
They're
Uh,
taking a rest game.
yeah, that's exactly what happened.
I'm very confident that the in the professional football world that teams look at bad teams and they say, okay, we're going to do just enough to win because we need some rest for the following
We don't
weeks.
got to put our best foot forward, essentially.
Yeah, yeah,
But so Josh Allen did his thing. Very similar how we were just talking to you about the last league. Cooper Cup,
yeah, yeah.
Stephon Diggs again appearing on a
Yeah,
champion.
we're seeing a lot of the same names, huh? Isn't that
Yeah.
interesting?
Well, hey, that's how it happens, you know. Cooper Cup
Yeah.
underperforming, Stephon Diggs underperforming. Let's kind of recap Stephon Diggs again here. You know, just looking at Stephon Diggs numbers the past couple of weeks, 6.4, 8.8, 7.9. You know, it makes you wonder, do you think he's
This is
done?
Stephon Diggs right now. He's pulling
But
the Homer Simpson.
what is your thinking about Stephon Diggs moving forward though? Do you think you think
It's
he's done
scary.
in Buffalo? Because
It's
obviously we
scary.
always hear like all of that chit chatter, like, oh, he's over this team. His
What's he
brother
30? Is he
to get him
30?
out of the team. What?
Is he 30?
He's got to be.
Is he
Yeah,
31? He's
he's
30.
30.
He'll be
So
31 by next season, guaranteed. Um, I don't know.
right, isn't that scary?
Yeah, I don't know. He might be in his.
Stephon Diggs. It's crazy because what do we just click on him and he was still wide receiver 7?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy,
Like
actually.
that his beginning of the season when
18 overall.
look at that.
Like, forget wide receiver seven. 18 overall with having, what? One, two, three, four, five out of the last six games
Well, look at the beginning.
under 10 points.
100 yard, 100 yard, 100 yard, 100 yard, 100 yard. He had 5 100 yard games as his first six. Insane. And then besides after that, it's just been all downhill.
I know
How
they don't have the data, but I'm curious. I'm curious how he performs in the playoffs. Like if we could research how he does in the playoffs,
you can
not the fantasy playoffs, the actual NFL playoffs,
you can
because
see it
maybe
right
they're
here.
doing what I just said in the last video. Maybe they're doing, rest up your stud, just get enough wins, and then by the time you get to the playoffs, your stud's all rested up and good to compete. I mean, here's the
The
thing
last time he had a
that
study playoff was in 2020. Look at those numbers.
oh, I didn't
Boom.
even realize you could look at like the playoff scores.
Yeah, you can. 2021, absolute duds. Last year, he had a
Fifty
good game
fifty.
against Miami.
Yeah, he's just not a good end of the year guy, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. But this is like something where like a lot of people are always talking like, you know, make sure you're getting ahead of like getting rid of your assets. So kind of what's what Samala did with Eckler, who's on his team. You know, Eckler was definitely trending. I didn't think Eckler was trending down, but I don't know. Samala saw something, ditched him out for a first round pick, which is looking like an absolute steal right now. So Eckler, you know, I'm sure when Bash Bros bought him, he was expecting like, oh wow, Eckler is gonna be putting up 20 points a game. Ever since he was acquired by him just has not been looking great. And when was this actual date? This was October 26th. So where does that kind of lead us? Probably around this like week 9, week 10 week.
I was gonna say week 10, yeah.
So he's gotten two 20-point games.
Sell him at
And,
his peak.
exactly. So kind of like what Samala did right there, and Bash Bros went buying. So Cooper Cup also. I mean, last week he did really good. So I don't think Cooper Cup is like really a declining asset. I think he's going to be good for a couple more seasons. So the Stephon Diggs thing is definitely very interesting, though. James Cook went absolutely insane last week. Now he shows up with 5 points, but he was also on the injury report, and then they also activated Leonard Fournette, who also got some play yesterday. So really
Yeah.
interesting there to see kind of that happened. We were just talking about Josh Jacobs, Travis Kelce. Those are two names that, who knows what's going to happen today. They have
Yeah.
we have not been doing the best. So very interesting. But you like Baker Mayfield. You're a Baker Mayfield guy right now. So, this should be a good competitive offensive game, which is something that you're kind of projecting. So some points are going to be coming from there. So
Yeah. I'm I,
should be interesting.
I the projection is so darn close. Obviously, in my opinion, the benefit is on the team that has not had the scorers yet, right? So I always like lean towards, well, how many more people do you have? What kind of point, differential do you have to overcome? The benefit to, I mean, we're talking about him again, Alexis Steele waddle into the playoffs. Like this guy just finds his way in there all the time. It's actually insane. Um,
Big hit losing Jamar Chase though. That stinks.
Oh, definitely a big hit. But like when you're looking at the opponent for this week, it's like you had to overcome 5 points. You did that barely, but you overcame it. You have to overcome 11 points of Cooper Cup. That might be hard because you're going with Adam Thielen, but more than capable. You have to overcome 8 points and Stephon Diggs with Waddle. That should definitely happen. Kelsey Ferguson, that's a stalemate for me because Ferguson's really good. DJ Moore, that's scary
It
because
is
I think
scary.
DJ Moore is going to pop off
This
today.
DJ Moore Mike Evans combo here is
That's scary.
it's going to be what's deciding this matchup for sure.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
absolutely.
That's where it's at.
And Sutton is able to score more than 11 and a half points.
Mhm.
So right, DJ Moore, Mike Evans over here is going to decide his side. I think Dak Prescott over here is going to decide, you know, his side. So, and then he still has a quarterback to go right up top, right?
Yeah, he has Jared Goff,
So
the
his benefit is the
41
two
performer.
quarterbacks. Yeah, his benefit's the two quarterbacks, and his benefit is the two wide receivers. We're just gonna see who ends up performing.
If Jalen Waddle can combine for the 18 points or whatever that Cup and Diggs went off for, that would be very, very huge.
Yeah, that'd be a big hit.
I think if that happens,
So if Waddle has an 18 or more point game, that's a pretty big deal. Yeah, I,
yeah,
I agree.
I think that's what's going to make this matchup close. Like once you kind of fill those two players in that gap, boom, and then
Yeah,
Jake Ferguson has been unbelievable. Goddard coming back, third game back, so should be interesting.
yeah,
See,
but like you said, DJ Moore against Arizona and Mike Evans against Jacksonville.
yeah,
Those are
those are
some
scary. Alexis
boom.
have to
Those are
really
some
pay
boom
attention to.
matchups.
Dak Prescott once again, like we were just saying, he did not have a really good game last week, so the bounce back should be there. You don't really expect them to have two bad games in a row. The Cowboys aren't an awful team, so having them do that 2 weeks in a row would be pretty surprising. But
Little
overall,
little
like
DJ Moore, Mike Evans parlay today might be the move.
it would definitely would not be a bad move.
Touchdown parlay.
I'm looking at it right now, and it really does look very interesting. So, Tyreek Hill is also back, so Jalen Waddle probably goes down a little bit, but you'll see how that's going to kind of turn out
Yeah.
today at 425. So not a bad
And
matchup. I
is
think
there is there a lot of Monday games in here, or is it all Sunday stuff? So we'll know this weekend.
I think
I
we
don't think I
will.
see any
So
Mondays.
we
Oh,
have
Kelsey's
Goddard.
a
Yep,
Monday.
we have
Goddard's a
Goddard on
Monday.
Monday.
So you have two tight ends on Mondays. That's it.
Josh Jacobs on Monday.
Oh,
So we might know by tonight. I think
yeah,
that's definitely not out of question. So kind of
yeah,
like figuring out what's going on. So we also, yeah, not just in case anyone else doesn't know, we figured out that there's 3 Monday games tomorrow. So More football. We love that. So I think
Christmas Day.
we're gonna have a good, really big picture of what's gonna be happening by the end of tonight to see how things are gonna kind of move forward. But overall, a pretty solid, evenly matched up. I think Alexis
Yeah.
they got some good breaks with Cooper Cup and Stephon Diggs and James Cook not doing the best. So he has a chance. Obviously, I've been talking to him. He's been pretty upset about the whole like Jamar Chase thing. So
Yeah.
it stinks. It's a big blow to your team. You want Jamar Chase to show up. T. Higgins had a good game yesterday. It could have been Jamar Chase. So things happen like that.
Is Jamar Chase like out for the playoffs, or if he wins, might he come back?
I think he's out for a couple weeks.
Yeah, that's tough.
Also, he also has Marquise Brown, who doesn't know how to play football with Kyler Murray anymore, which is interesting. He may sit out week 17. So
Yeah, that's tough.
yeah,
That's tough.
I think it's really just depending on their playoffs, and they lost yesterday, so playoff hopes go down even more. So now they're 7-8, I believe. So
That was a wild butt spanking. That was not expected.
it was if you're me. Ha ha ha. Steelers +3. We love it. All right. Let's move on to the next matchup. So basically the brothers versus the brothers. So Mac and Corey. Corey is not a Leeds, but he basically is. He says it all the time. But yeah, we kind of have the Leeds household here battling it out. So we have Mac, who got the advantage of starting two people or already starting people. Kyron Williams, he really got saved by that Kyron Williams last touchdown, really helping him. Chris Olave for 100 yards, 23 points. Love to see that. I love the confidence in starting him, especially of being out last week. Dalton Kincaid, got to talk about him a little bit.
Yeah, that hurts.
Ever since Dawson Knox has come back, which was, I believe, the Kansas City week, things have not been going well.
So what has the Knox been doing? Can you look him up real quick? Because
Of
I
course,
did not forecast that it would be this much of an impact.
I
Are
think
they
I
utilizing
think
him, or are they just not utilizing the tight ends anymore at all?
I think it's more he's just not on the field as much. Like I don't think he's been doing anything. Like look,
Now let me
so
say this.
snap
So he hasn't been
percentage
doing anything.
40
So what are
47
they doing?
62.
Are they is
It's
this
James Cook.
reason?
It's
Yes,
James
is
Cook.
this is the James Cook scenario because he's
Hmm.
got two tight ends on the field, more total blockers. They're probably running 12 personnel. So wow, the beneficiary of Knox coming back is not Knox. It's not Knox getting an uptick in touches. It's James Cook and the
James
running
Cook.
game getting an uptick.
And when did
That's
they
interesting.
fire? When did they fire their offensive coordinator? What game was that?
Oh, I don't know. Probably back during the Jets.
You think so?
Yeah, it was a couple weeks back. I don't think it was recently.
Yeah. So, ever since that's happened, and like I've even seen something since they fired their offensive coordinator, James Cook has been just going insane. So, I mean, I guess they want to run.
Running the football, I'll say this, to get to the playoffs, you don't need to run the football. But when you're in like the hunt for the NFL playoffs and being in the actual NFL playoff, having the ability to slow down the game and burn clock is such a massive asset. You see so many teams this time of year and in the actual NFL playoff just run the ball, run the
Yeah.
heck out of the football. I mean, you don't see it from the Chiefs very often, but like a
Now they
majority of
can do
these
that. Now
teams,
they can
yeah,
do it.
now they can do it.
Pacheco
Absolutely.
has been having an amazing season.
It's just amazing to see the game shift. I mean, you're
Yeah,
in the cold, rainy season, and you just see this shift every single year. And this is why running backs are important. Like good running backs are important in fantasy football because every year it gets cold, it gets rainy, it gets snowy, and you just might not be able to throw the football. It gets windy. I mean, I guess that's probably the biggest deterrent. You could throw the ball in the rain, but you can't. It's very hard to throw the ball in 12 to 20 mile per hour winds if you end up having a bad storm in a certain part of the country.
for sure. So I forgot I saw this yesterday, but the Fountain of Youth has George Pickens, but you
Oh,
you look at his starting lineup. Realistically, the only
you
player
wouldn't put him
you're
in there.
probably substituting for George Pickens is
I mean,
probably Tyler Lockett,
yeah,
honestly.
that would
But
be the only one.
that's a tough decision.
Do you go with the veteran and you just hope for the best, or do you go with? I mean,
Dang,
I
that
don't
is
think George
tough.
Pickens has done anything. Has George Pickens done anything?
Well, last week he didn't do anything.
Yeah, so I
That's
wouldn't
that's
trust
for
him.
sure.
I wouldn't trust him at all. Yeah,
But
no.
I'd say they're kind of basically putting up similar numbers. Let's look at this. So George Pickens with a 12.56, wide receiver 23. What do you
No, but
think?
I agree
What do you
with
think
his
Tyler Lockett is
choice.
doing?
I listen, I agree with his choice though, because Seattle's a better offense than Pittsburgh. You can never ever assume that Pittsburgh is going to have a good offense. And like, yeah, Mason Rudolph came in. It's like, oh yay, there's a resurgence to the offense. But like Mason Rudolph has been taken from the starting job 3 times, so you're not going to assume that he was going to be good. He
That
made the right move.
that
He
was
made the
oh
right move.
he I mean, I don't know if it was the right move. Once
Well,
again, it was really between him and Tyler Lockett, but I agree. Like I understand the reasoning. Who's really playing George Pickens with confidence like that? But that stings. That's tough. That's going
yeah,
to be a tough one to swallow once he realizes he loses by not starting George Pickens.
the
Like
bench. Yeah,
that
the
would beat
bench
me
in
up.
fantasy football is both our ally and our enemy
Yeah, it's all
because
about the
when you,
start sits. All about the start
yeah,
sits. It's huge.
tilting,
But
tilting.
Um, uh, that's kind of like let's dissect this a little bit. Obviously Mac has the quarterback advantage, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson versus Jordan Love and Nick Mullins. So I think that kind of just states that right there. Kind of very much ugly. So
The running backs are pretty equal.
I would say so as well, honestly.
I mean, with the Olave performance, I'd say the wide receivers might even be equal.
For sure.
If Olave didn't have that performance, I would definitely say that Jefferson Hill have an advantage. But Hill's coming back off of an injury. Who knows how explosive he's going to be? I mean, I assume he's going to be as explosive as always. But, St. Brown could have another 20, 30 point game. Jefferson could have a 20, 30 point game. Hill can have a 20, 30 point game. So I think that's going to end up being pretty darn equal. Kincaid already crapped the bed. So Njoku,
And Joku's been going wild.
he's been doing great. He's been having an awesome season at 27 years old. It took him a minute
Two
to get there,
straight
but he's been having
20
a very
point
good season.
games.
Joe Flacco loves his tight ends. He's always had good tight ends to throw to.
If the
And if
Joker
they're not good,
has
he makes
another
them good.
20-point game, that's gonna fix this Dalton Kincaid thing right here and kind of bring this thing back to life. But
Yeah,
it's honestly a pretty good matchup.
it is.
I love reading the whole Kyron versus Pollard, Bijan versus Rashad, Olav
Yeah.
Hill, Amon-Ra versus Jay's Jeff, Kincaid, Njoku, Mostert, Swift, Hopkins, Adams, Gibbs, and Lockett. I think the only disadvantage really here, I would say max players are slightly better for sure. Quarterback, I
Yeah.
think immensely better, but this is
Yeah,
what's
he's got the edge. Max
wow.
got
And
the
look
edge.
at this, look at
Max
this.
got the edge with quarterback play, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
And the
I mean,
projections
if
are
Pollard has a crazy game, then that changes things. You know, White is going to score exactly what his projection is. It's going to be between 15 and 20 points. If Bijan has a crazy game, this changes things. They each have a. So Williams did what he was supposed to do. White's going to do what he was supposed to do. Pollard and Robinson are going to be the deciding factor for the running backs. Who's going to be the one that pops off? Um, Jefferson Brown is pretty straightforward. I think Hill can outscore Olave, but it's more likely that he'll score exactly what Olave scored.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's
I think you assessed it well. I think Kincaid being a bust this week really sucks because you would have the clear advantage if he did not. But you can overcome that with extra points from Mahomes and extra points from who's he got down there? Jackson?
yep.
Yeah. So he can overcome that.
Overall, not a bad matchup. This is I would say
Is it?
obviously whoever I would win this matchup, I think is like the favorite to win.
Yeah. What was our predictions a couple games ago? Because I think Mac was was my number one.
Yeah. No, it was between Mac. You like these two teams. It was Fountain of Youth, you said was the one that could really do like the home run hitting. Mac's team was
Mhm.
kind of being a little bit inconsistent with their play, honestly. So I think you had Fountain of Youth first and then Mac's team second.
Yeah,
We
I think
liked
I
we
see
liked
the
we liked we both liked Birdo's team, but
yeah, I
well,
think I see the 4 seed
they didn't do
versus the
well.
6 seed. That's what I think I see in the championship. 4 versus 6.
Wow,
See
so
Mac versus
you
NM.
got Fountain of Youth versus over Mac and Corey, huh?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good one. Olaf scoring points definitely helped Mac, but then you get that downgrade from Dalton Kincaid. So It should be interesting. Alexis is
Two
going.
very tight matchups.
Oh, for sure. It's gonna be a good Sunday. And let's look at the Sunday Monday thing here.
Swift on the right,
Yeah.
Adams on the right, Mahomes on the left. So you have a core
Are-
two. Oh no.
So
See
his both his
the
starting
advantage is
quarterbacks.
still this. Yeah, the advantage is still Mac because he's got two
He's
quarterbacks
both of
on
his
Monday.
quarterbacks exactly.
I mean, unless they're pissed off that they don't want to play on Christmas, they're going to be just fine.
Should be so I guess you would be thinking that
The current advantage is the quarterbacks for Mac, and then he still has the advantage with Monday night games.
yeah. I didn't
I
realize
think
he
it's
changed his
his.
name to New Team IR. I want him to go back to Fountain of Youth. Make sure you make that change. I like that. Fountain of Youth is a good name.
It is a good name, but you got to be young to do it. I mean, he is young.
He is young. He's got some yeah, I guess. I feel like
He's he's
he's
he's
losing that
pretty
spear a
young.
little bit.
He's pretty
Uh,
young. He's all
we
right.
didn't talk about the whole CJ Stroud thing and Joe Burrow. That's definitely a huge hit, but the team's definitely looking good in the future. CJ Stroud, Joe
Yeah.
Burrow at the 1-2 right there kind of matches up with Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson a little bit. So,
Well,
obviously this is a dynasty league, so you gotta be worrying about those types of things.
next year. I apologize. Will next year be Tyreek Hill's last year because that's when his contract's up.
Is it next year? I thought it was the year after.
I'm pretty sure it's the end of next year.
Interesting.
I I
I know he
could be
said he
very
was gonna
wrong.
retire after his contract, but like
He said he'll be done after this next
he's still
contract.
so good. Why
That's
would
what
why
I
would he
thought he
do
said.
that? Why would he do something like that?
He wants to stay healthy. He already made his money. He already got his
Yeah,
Super Bowls.
I guess so. Yeah, you're not wrong. It's not all about fantasy championships for these people. But overall, some pretty solid matchups. Let's go down here a little bit, see who's going to be winning the. So it's the finals for the consolation bracket, and you're actually in it. Did you? You probably.
Yeah, baby.
So
Feeling good.
We got Brownie versus Samala for the 311. Yeah,
Yeah, firm youth.
practice. I put
I
him in.
love the guy, but he's not the tight end of the future for me.
Yeah, that's tough. He didn't even get a target yesterday, so that's awful.
That's
But hey,
because
you got
that's
that T.
because
Higgins stuff?
freaking Mason Rudolph was literally in love with George Pickens. If Mason Rudolph throws the ball two times to Deontay Johnson, I'm $200 richer, but that's fine.
That's okay. But
That's not all right.
but you obviously got the matchup here. You starting Taylor Heineke, pretty yucky. You got Tua, Kyler. You're starting two quarterbacks. Yeah, I mean, I obviously just give you the edge overall. I would say he probably has the slight edge with like running back, slightly.
Laporta could screw me.
Laporta, yeah, Laporta is a
Like if
good.
Laporta does a 20-point game, then Higgins did all what he did for nothing, basically. I don't know. It's closer than it looks on paper, but I think
It's
you're
always
right.
it's always the quarterback parity. Honestly, it's just that's what
Yeah.
happens. But I mean, the projection isn't anything crazy. It's 16 points. So I mean, I just give you the edge just because of the whole quarterback scenario here. I would have to say, honestly, I like your wide receivers more. And that's just kind of where it's at. I mean, unless Jamo Williams goes off for 3 touchdowns, I doubt that's gonna happen. But maybe I don't know. So I kind of give you the 311. So that's cool. So you have
I'll take it.
now you're gonna have 900 first round picks, and now you'll get the 311 too. So good for you.
Just out here
Just out here
accruing
doing
picks.
things. And me and Berto, I'm getting crushed. Awesome. Not even gonna look into that. But yeah, I got kicked out of these playoffs as well. It stinks. Now we're out here. So I'm just glad this competition is competitive here. I'm interested to see what's gonna happen, and see who's gonna win the money and also the belt. So I did give the belt to Santana. So next draft, he's gonna have to hand it over and give it to the new champion. So we'll see who that's gonna be crowned to. But yeah,
So just to not to totally steer from where you're at, but how the heck this contract thing for Tyreek Hill is nuts.
why? What is
So
it?
you're right. So it has a 4-year, $120 million contract. Great job, dude. Um, a total guaranteed of 72 million. Guaranteed at signing 52 million. So he already it's all guaranteed basically. Um, it says that the contract was signed. It looks like the contract was signed in 2022. So there's a potential 3-year out in 2025, but apparently 2022 didn't count in the contract. I guess he signed it in 2022, but it was 4 years from 2022. So he actually supposed to be playing into 2026.
So the 26-27 season?
There's an out in 25, potential out in 2025, but there he's getting paid through 2026, which is interesting.
So he has, yeah, so he has two more seasons.
Yeah. Good
Yeah,
for Tyreek Hill owners.
good for Tyreek Hill for sure. You
Listen,
know,
hopefully they don't win the Super Bowl because maybe he'll be out sooner.
well, he'll probably go for a repeat. So,
If
yeah.
he doesn't get 20, if he doesn't get 2000 this year, he will play next year. Don't you worry about
Well,
that.
he sat out last week, so that's a
I
huge.
know. It's crazy. What do you know what that is supposed to be now? What does he need?
I have no idea. I know he was at like 100, and so me and my friends who I watch football with on Sunday, we're kind of honestly been like looking at it. It was like 105 yards per game with like 2 weeks ago, but now he didn't play against the Jets, so it's probably a lot worse. He's got to have a big game today for sure. That's basically that. I wonder what happened in that locker room where there's like, hey, you have to sit out, and he was just like, dang, no more 2K yards.
I think he can still do it, but I don't it's gonna be a lot harder.
Yeah, we'll see. But anything else to say, Brownie, about these matchups?
Really eager for the draft.
It is almost draft season, so
No,
yeah,
yeah, I think it's gonna be Corey Mack versus uh Subis, whatever the heck. How do we
Bash
even
Bros, Bash Bros.
Bash Bros? Well, there's
Yeah.
like nine. Every team's got like nine different names. How you supposed to follow this crap?
Well, this is their handles, but their actual team names, I don't know. I just memorize everything. So like
Yeah,
Bash Bros
you're
there.
freaking cuckoo.
Hey, I
Yeah,
like I like knowing stuff. I
I
got
see Mac versus Bash Bros. I think both of those teams were the teams that I predicted to be like the top two. Um, good luck.
Yeah, good luck, boys. Happy
Good
Sunday.
luck.
Merry Christmas and enjoy your time and enjoy the football. We're out of here. Bye bye.